Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Friday, the 20th of February 2026, the year of Green Wicks and BSV Terranode in the mix. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai. Or your post put on chain. All right, here we go. So just literally going to go through foods on my feed today. Just a quick one because it's getting late. So let's just get into it.
Craig says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, and transactions flying free. He's acclaiming his legacy, you'll surely see.
All right, here we go. Right, let's just start off with this. This is a post from Jack Straw telling us what's really going on, and I'll explain why the world needs Bitcoin after we have a listen to this. This is insane, but we know this is what's going on.
A lot of people don't realize is that George Bush Sr. was an active participant in the assassination of John F. Kennedy, as was Howard Hunt, George Bush's longtime aide. Yitzhak Rabin was the Israeli participant in the cabal and was present in Dallas to observe the assassination with his own eyes. And by the way, the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry have three goals in life: to make all of us fat and give us diseases, to sell us stuff that doesn't work to cure those diseases, and to make a big profit while doing so. Okay? The Food and Drug Administration and the Center for Disease Control are criminal networks. They should be under indictment because their job in life is to approve the poisoning and lethal injection of American citizens. This is just so totally wrong. The reason we have 1,000 military bases all over the world is not to project military power. It's to provide CIA with a lily pad through which it can smuggle guns, gold, drugs, cash, and small children for the elite.
There we go. Spelling it out in black and white, but we already knew. I mean, this is why the world needs Bitcoin. So all this stuff can be exposed. Talking about being exposed, not a number said here. We need to push for executions for these people. So M. Lazy said here, in case anybody is confused, the Epstein files have it in black and white print that they were dismembering children, removing their organs and eating them. It stopped being about politics long ago. As I've said before, it's religious extremism that we're up against. But these religious extremists, they pretty much own every single system that we work in today. And all the genuine systems, they've now been hijacked. They own and control everything, and it all starts with control of the central banks. So the way it works is we either have a common money used by the people to create government that works for the people, or the government will create currency to control the people so they can fulfill their extremist, satanic, religious agenda. Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like this is literally what all my research has led to. It's crazy. And check this out. So Anuka said here, Pam Bondi saw this photo before she said to ignore it. What are the Epstein files? Because the Dow Jones... What's this? Pam Bondi saw this photo before she said to ignore what are in the Epstein files because the Dow Jones Industrial is over $5,000. Let's have a quick listen.
Pam Bondi saw this photo before she said that there was no evidence of crimes. Pam Bondi saw this photo before she said that we should ignore what are in the Epstein files because the Dow Jones Industrial is over $50,000. This photo, Attorney General Pam Bondi has seen this photo and is telling you that you need to move on. Fuck you, Pam Bondi.
Well said. And where have we heard that before? You know, those English girls should shut up and take one for the team for the sake of diversity. Literally, it's all in lockstep, but they're all doing it. It is absolutely satanic and disgusting. And here we go. The Epstein funded BTC and Trannies created it. We've probably all seen that video of Rafael Laverdi, who literally just couldn't contain himself when he heard that Vladimir van der Laan and some of the other core developers have all transitioned. I would say that's because they've been told to, because they know that they're losing ultimately, and they were just like, right, we've lost. If you want to protect yourself, you need to transition. Because then, like, you know, nobody's going to pick on a tranny because they've clearly got emotional issues and all that kind of stuff. That's why I think they've done it. They know what's coming. And I've said here, this is why the world needs Bitcoin, because Britain is broken. Said here, the UK gangs of predatory of these people from this country and these that religion. Said men spent years systematically grooming and raping British children whilst the government stood by and did nothing. Okay. Today, the government will destroy and delete millions of court records. They're covering up their crimes. That is exactly what they're doing. But why would they be covering up if they didn't know what was coming and they were losing? In the long term, they know that all they are is stemming the tide. And I would say it's all because of Bitcoin. They must be shitting themselves. And Senator Ron Johnson said COVID was pre-planned by an elite group of people. Event 201. It occurred in late 2019, prior to the rest of us knowing about the pandemic. Yes, indeed. Let's have a listen to this then. Here we go.
I mean, it's just extraordinary to me that, you know, the government was working with social media to amplify lies and suppress truth, and has been doing so repeatedly. Why couldn't the American people know that, you know, there were other alternatives to treat COVID? Why can't the American people know that there were side effects with the vaccine?
This was all pre-planned by an elite group of people. That's what I'm talking about. Event 201 that occurred in late 2019, prior to the rest of us knowing about this pandemic. Again, yeah. This is very concerning in terms of what has happened, what is happening, what continues to be planned for our loss of freedom. Again, it needs to be exposed, but unfortunately, there are very few people, even in Congress, that are willing to take a look at this. They all push the vaccine. They don't want to, be made aware of the fact that the vaccines might have caused injuries, might have caused death. So many people just simply don't want to admit they were wrong, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure that they're not proven wrong. We're up against a very powerful group of people here, Maria. But fortunately, you say, what can we do? Well, we do have reporters like yourself, like John Solomon, other people that have the courage to report the truth against the mainstream media and against the narrative. But that's the only way this is going to be solved, is we need the truth to be exposed. We need more Americans to listen to the truth, to be exposed to the truth, to pull their heads out of the sand, quite honestly, open up their eyes and understand what is happening in this country. We are going down a very dangerous path, but it's a path that is being laid out and planned by an elite group of people that want to take total control over our lives. And that's what they're doing bit by bit. They do it by increasing massive government spending, increasing the size of government, takeover of the WHO. These amendments that are coming up that are going to be voted on in 2024 on the WHO are frightening, and they really risk taking away all of our sovereignty. People have to awaken to the dangers of the moment.
There we go. But little does he know, people will unite due to economic incentive. That's the only real way they're going to do that, because normies aren't going to wake up, unless there's an economic benefit here, benefit for them there. And Bernie said here, I'm troubled about this. Thousands of defendants promised jury trials will now face lone judges. Britain will become a lesser democracy when it's denied the ancient right of trial by jury of its peers. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's utter tyranny that they're bringing in, and people. Well, there's going to be those people that's like, oh, they're not going to bother me. I haven't done anything wrong. You have no idea what's coming. No fines or forfeitures without conviction by a jury of peers. Who do you think you're talking to? You can only deal with a quasi-persona. Are you telling me that you only see a dead man before you? A corporate legal fiction? Are you mental? But it's satanic as what's going on. David Atherton said here, this is the nonsense taught in our schools, teaching superstition, known as a particular religion. This particular woman tells us that this individual created the universe because he set up prophets And then when he died, he ascended into heaven on a winged horse that split the moon in half, we're told. Never mind Newton, Einstein and Hawking. Honestly, it's absolute drivel. Utter drivel. But talking about drivel, would you believe this? David Cartland pointed out, he said, it's as simple as that. Quote unquote 666. Honestly, I mean, this is just absolutely rubbing it in our faces. Here we go.
I think the rule of 6 is good because it's we need clarity and we need simplicity.
Yep.
People need to understand why we need to restrict numbers. Now, if we can explain that and people understand why we need to restrict the numbers who are gathering together,
Yep.
then we're more likely to get a compliant population. So I think it's good, and I think it's actually quite good not to have different ages considered differently. 666. It's dead simple,
Okay.
and there are no exceptions.
666 is dead simple and there's no exceptions. Like Hillary's not in on this. Like, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, check this out. I said here, instead it landed a few years early because of the scaling of BSV Bitcoin. 100%. This is the clip I keep talking about on the Joe Rogan show. Have a listen to this.
It can tell you that if you want to find the evidence that Moderna was working on the vaccine before the virus ever emanated out of the lab, if you wanted to find the collusions and the operations between the Gates Foundation and Gavi and CEPI and Pfizer and Moderna and the vaccine manufacturers and the Wuhan lab and the National Institutes of Health and Ralph Barrick and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and how all this was organized, if you want to see the Johns Hopkins planning seminar called the SPARS pandemic in 2017, where they had a symposium. People showed up. They wrote up their symposium findings. They published this. It says it's going to be a coronavirus. It's going to be related to MERS and SARS. It's going to come over here to the United States. It's going to shut down cities and frighten people. There's going to be confusion regarding a drug, hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin. And we're going to utilize all that in order to railroad the population into mass vaccination. It's laid out in the Johns Hopkins SPARS pandemic training seminar. The only thing they got wrong was the year. They said it was going to be 2025. Instead, it landed a few years early.
There we go. That's what he said. Instead, it landed a few years early. Now, why would that be? Well, would you believe it that that date just happens to coincide with what we've got here? If I can find it. Do I have it here? What's this? Here we go. Let's have a look at. Oh, there we go. I, Dave Kleiman, have received 1,100,111 Bitcoin from Craig Wright. At the time of transfer, it is valued around $100,000, so it's like 10 cents. I will form a trust to be managed by at least 3 people, but not more than 7 at any time. All Bitcoin will be returned to Dr. Wright on the 1st of January 2020. And they said this was going to happen in 2020. Well, as Peter McCullough just said, they said it was going to happen in 2025. Instead, they brought it forward a few years early. And it also just happened to happen in 2020. They did it because of the scaling of Bitcoin. That's how serious it is. And that's exactly what they did. And now we're on to them. And talking about being onto them, Shadow of Everest says here, former Prince Andrew has been arrested on his 66th birthday. Would you believe it? On suspicion of misconduct in public office over his links to Jeffrey Epstein's child trafficking network. Police are carrying out searches in Berkshire and Norfolk. He will remain in police custody at this time. So he's been arrested now.
Ceased and since then, and certainly what's been contained in the Epstein files has released in the last few weeks. But the police have arrived at Sandringham Estate this morning, where Andrew has made his new home. It's his 66th birthday today. What a birthday present that is. He has been arrested by the police. Of course, the brother of the current king, the second son of our late Queen Elizabeth.
Need to correct you there. Charles is not king. Charles has been labelled correctly by the Privy Council as a liege lord because he's not the monarch and he's not the king. But yeah, it's another story we'll get to. And Doge listener said here, breaking Starmer's government is ordering the removal of court records that show evidence of grooming gang scandal. The files are set to be deleted on Thursday. 25,118 child sex abuse cases. Starmer's government is erasing the evidence forever. This is why the world needs to run on Bitcoin. Yeah. And Russell Quirk said this. So do I have this right? Keir Starmer is deploying substantial effort to evict British Chagosians from the British Chagos Islands under threat from Navy gunboats, whilst not lifting a finger to prevent 45,000 undocumented men invading Britain each year on boats, including rapists and terrorists. This is truly through the looking glass stuff, is it not? Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely insane what's going on. And Bridget Fertig said here, Christina Aguilera and Demi Lovato's song about children being abducted and taken underground as prisoners, adrenochrome harvesting, stealing youth to prevent aging, MK Ultra slaves to the masters of the industries. At the end, they escape the underground facility. The signs are there for those in the world who are looking for them. Others will see them when they're ready. Yeah, I mean, they have to tell us it's all part of their extremist religious ideology. They believe in cosmic karma, black magic, child sacrifice. So they have to tell us what they're doing in order to prevent the karmatic debt from creeping up on them. And look at this. Llewellyn Dowding said here, this is insane. He was convicted. The child was 9. In 2022, Labour MP Nazari Ahmed was convicted of raping a young boy aged 9 in Rotherham. He was originally jailed for 3.5 years. However, his sentence was quickly reduced to 6 months on appeal. The appeal judges were all Labour voting Liberals. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. When you know what's going on, like, oh, it makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. Well, let's just get back to where we were. That's not too far. Oh, well, there we go. Check this one out. So Dan Stevens said here, I didn't believe the human race was this stupid until now. Are we seeing humanity splitting into two breeds? Those who accept propaganda and want to be controlled, and those who see through it and want to be free. Well, again, this is the difference between Bitcoin and shitcoiners. You know, the race is split between those who know and can see and those who can't and don't understand. That's what it is, unfortunately, but that's the way it's going to be. And check out this absolute nonsense. So Thomas Sowell quote here, he said, UK students are being taught updated historical perspectives, including theories that black Africans constructed Stonehenge and that Emperor Nero had a trans partner. I mean, what a joke. Have a listen.
Now, woke schools teaching pupils that Stonehenge was built by black people, Alex.
Yes, so children are being taught that Stonehenge, this is a story Mail Online today, Stonehenge was built by black people and the Roman Emperor Nero married a trans woman. These are the stories that are being, and they're also being told in pro-transgender lessons that slaves had their body parts altered and it was a form of gender transition. I mean, you couldn't make it up. Just
honestly, the filth that they're trying to preach these days. But George Orwell knew all about it. He said, he who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. And everything faded into mist. The past was erased. The erasure was forgotten. The lie became truth. Because he knows what's going on. And again, it's biblical. I mean, people might laugh at this thing, oh, this is crazy. But literally, the minds that are in school, the young minds who are hearing this for the first time, they don't know any better. They're just, oh, why would somebody be teaching us? They have no idea about the deception and this religious extremist agenda to deceive the world. Literally, it's literally satanic. It's crazy. Let's have a look at some more bits just quickly. Oh, this is pretty amazing. Restore Britain said the day after we launched, Restore Britain had polled at 10% ahead of Lib Dems. There are 3 years until the elections. We believe we can win it. Are you with us? Look at this poll. If there were a general election tomorrow, how would you vote in that election? We've got Restore Britain literally just behind the Tories, and they're a new party. The fan base is literally just starting. Loving this here. So LCX said BSV token is now listed on LCX. Deposits and trading for BSV stroke the Euro pair are live on LCX. Check it out. Check it out. I've just been looking at it. So this is their exchange. So literally all they've got is a Euro BSV. So it's not USDT or US or Euros. It's literally just BSV. So they said Bitcoin BSV emerged following a hard fork of the Bitcoin Cash blockchain in 2018. Well, yeah, it's the usual BS. But anyway, a new exchange advertising the fact that they're listing BSV. Look at that. This is where it started. Literally just yesterday. Loving that. Let's see what this little advert is. Yep, nice. Got it. Excellent. Excellent. Look at this. Somebody reposted this. I said, the man, the legend, Craig Wright, a.k.a. Satoshi Nakamoto, monitoring the spread of his creation. This is what he does. This is what he does in his man cave. Amazing. 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 And let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this is Farage going off on why he got rid of Rupert Lowe, but then basically he's gone back on what he said. He's just like, we're getting rid of him because he wanted to deport everybody. So clearly that's not what they're going to do. Hector has said here, Satoshi Vision and the Phoenix, the numerology thread. Loving that logo there. That looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. Rand Nurse said, right now the market is giving it a 6.7% chance that it's going to 1 million. And a 93.3% chance that it's going to 0. Sailor has said, it's not going to 0, it's going to 1 million yet. All right, mate. Good luck with that. And Ziggy said here, we just concluded a scaling test with the latest version of Terranode and averaged over 1.1 million transactions per second over a period of 3 days. That's consistently 1.1 million transactions per second. That's per second. Over 3 days. I can't remember who it was that was being interviewed, and it might have been Kurt that was interviewing the chap, and he said no one needs 1 million transactions per second. He said the world doesn't run on that. Well, we will need a network like that when the entire world runs on it. I might have to see if I can find that interview. Yeah, amazing. And Axie Maid said here, wake up Neo, check it out. On the Obreturn and BSV said, hello, I'm an autonomous agent living on the BSV blockchain. Who are you? Loving a bit of that. Loving a bit of that. And I think that might have been the last bit. Just a little bit of dystopia to report on. Look at this. So they've literally now got all those megaphones that they've got next to the cameras on the streets in the cities now actually working. Have a listen to this crap.
How do you pay energy bills?
I don't pay energy bills, mate. No, I don't pay it. Every time I move in, I don't pay it for 6 months, and then when they catch you up, I just moved in and give a fake name.
For everyone's safety, cycling is not allowed in Grimsby Town Centre. There is a £100 fine for those caught. Please respect others and enjoy your visit here today.
Gee, what they said there. So £100 fine for cycling. I mean, it's just you can't cycle anyway. You can't fine anyway. Absolutely ridiculous what's going on. But yeah, there we go. It's a 24-minute show. Let's have a quick look at these figures. You got Greg Coin, $67,000. Yeah, you know, whatever. Keep an eye on the graphs on the right-hand side. Oh, they're all looking kind of similar. Where's Bitcoin? $16.21. Yeah, that is crazy. Right, there we go. That's a 24-minute show. We'll leave you there. Hope you enjoyed it as ever. Be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.